Have you ever felt like the closer you get to someone, the more they pull away from you? Like your love is pushing them in the opposite direction instead of bringing them closer. Welcome back to Decode His Mind. In today's video, we're going to explore the hidden psychology behind avoidant attachment, why some people pull away when things get close, and what actually makes emotional connection feel safe, stable, and real for them. If you've ever been close to someone with an avoidant attachment style, you already know how emotionally confusing it can feel. One moment they are open, warm, and fully present, like there is real connection between you. And then suddenly they shift. They pull away. They become distant, as if the closeness never mattered at all. What hurts even more is that the harder you try to get closer, the more they seem to move away.
So it helps to look at things from their side, because avoidant people don't experience love in the same way as secure or anxious types. They don't respond well to pressure, emotional chasing, or intensity that builds too fast. In fact, those things usually trigger the exact opposite effect. Instead of bringing them closer, it makes them shut down or step back even further. What actually makes an avoidant develop deeper feelings is often misunderstood. It's not about playing tricks or controlling behavior. It's about changing the emotional environment you create in the connection. One of the biggest mistakes people make with avoidance is believing that love grows through urgency, constant reassurance, or emotional intensity. For them, that doesn't feel like closeness. It feels like pressure, and pressure is what activates their need to withdraw. What they are really responding to, even if they don't consciously realize it, is emotional safety.
Not emotional distance, not coldness, but a sense of calm safety, where connection doesn't feel overwhelming. Safety means they can stay close without feeling trapped or emotionally overloaded. Emotional safety shows up when you can express how you feel without demanding an immediate reaction. Your emotions are present, but they are not heavy or controlling. You don't place your anxiety onto them. You don't make them responsible for fixing how you feel or constantly proving their love. Instead, you communicate from a grounded place. You are honest, but calm. You show your feelings, but you don't turn them into pressure. That difference is powerful. For an avoidant person, this feels unfamiliar. And because it's unfamiliar, it becomes attractive in a quiet way. They are usually used to emotional reactions, questions, pressure, or frustration when they pull away. They expect intensity. They expect conflict. They expect to be pursued or blamed for needing space.
So when you don't react that way, something shifts inside them. When you stay calm instead of chasing, when you remain steady instead of reacting, their system starts to relax. Their defenses don't need to stay fully active. They are no longer preparing for emotional overwhelm. And in that space, real connection starts to become possible.
This doesn't mean ignoring your own needs or pretending you don't care. It simply means adjusting how you respond. Instead of reacting from frustration or fear, you respond with clarity and calmness. That one shift changes the entire emotional tone of the relationship. One approach creates pressure, the other creates safety. And safety is what allows an avoidant person to actually move closer without feeling like they are losing themselves. When they start to associate you with emotional safety instead of emotional pressure, something important happens. You stop feeling like someone they need to escape from or defend against. You become someone they can simply exist with. They don't feel like they have to perform, explain everything, or constantly manage your emotional reactions. That is rare for them. And because it is rare, it stands out. Over time, they begin to open up more naturally. They share more. They stay engaged longer.
They reach out more often, not because they were pushed to do it, but because being around you doesn't feel overwhelming.
This is how avoidant attachment deepens into connection, not through intensity, but through emotional relief, not through demands, but through steadiness. Another powerful factor is independence. Not independence used as a strategy or to trigger a reaction, but genuine independence that already exists in your life. Avoidant individuals are highly sensitive to emotional dependence. If they feel that someone's happiness or identity is completely tied to them, they instinctively create distance. It doesn't mean they don't care. It means they feel responsible for too much emotional weight, and that makes them uncomfortable. True independence removes that pressure. It shows in how you live your life. You have your own routines, interests, goals, friendships, and personal fulfillment that continue regardless of their presence or absence. You are not waiting around for attention. You are not losing yourself in the connection. That kind of presence is naturally attractive to them because when they see that you are emotionally grounded and self-sufficient, it creates respect. And for avoidant personalities, respect often comes before love. You are no longer someone who might collapse emotionally if they take space. You are someone who remains stable even when distance exists. That changes how they perceive you completely. Instead of seeing you as someone who needs them, they start seeing you as someone who chooses them. That difference is subtle, but it carries a lot of emotional weight. Interestingly, independence doesn't push them away. It creates curiosity. When you are not constantly prioritizing them above everything else, they begin to wonder where they stand in your life. But because your space feels natural and not performative, it doesn't trigger defensiveness. It creates interest instead. They start checking in more.
They start engaging more, not because they feel pressured, but because the connection feels like something they are choosing, not something they are trapped in.
This creates balance. No chasing, no running, just two complete individuals meeting without losing themselves. For avoidant people, that balance feels safe. They can move closer without panic. They can stay present without feeling controlled. And when you are truly independent, something else happens as well. You stop trying to control the outcome. You stop overthinking every silence or delay. You simply show up as yourself without needing to force the connection. That calm self-assurance is deeply grounding for them. Another key point is emotional consistency. Avoidant individuals are often highly alert to emotional unpredictability. Even if things seem fine on the surface, their internal wiring is shaped by past experiences where closeness eventually led to overwhelm, conflict, or emotional chaos. Because of that, sudden emotional reactions like mood swings, ultimatums, or intense responses to small changes can feel threatening to them. That kind of steadiness sends a strong message without needing many words. It communicates confidence, trust, and emotional control. Over time, they begin to associate you with stability. You become the person who doesn't create chaos when things slow down, who doesn't panic when space appears, and who doesn't make them responsible for managing your emotions. That emotional ease is very attractive to them. And this is where deeper connection forms quietly. They begin to open up, not because they were pushed, but because it feels safe to do so. They stay longer in conversations. They let their guard down a little more. They allow themselves to be seen in ways they usually avoid. For avoidant individuals, distance has always been a coping mechanism. When emotions become too intense, pulling away feels like the safest option. Most people respond to that by chasing or demanding reassurance, which only reinforces their need to withdraw. But when you respond with calm steadiness instead, you interrupt that cycle. You show them that closeness does not automatically equal pressure. You show them that connection can exist without emotional chaos. And slowly that changes how they experience relationships altogether. When you can give space without reacting, without punishing, and without chasing, you communicate something very powerful. You are still here, but you are not dependent. You are present, but not overwhelming. That removes the emotional push and pull they are used to. And in that space, real connection finally has room to grow. You're not disappearing to trigger fear, and you're not chasing to calm your own anxiety. You just stay steady. And that's where something interesting happens inside an avoidant person, because their system is used to a pattern. Distance usually brings relief.
But when distance no longer comes with drama, guilt, emotional reactions, or pressure, it stops working the same way. It loses its power.
When someone uses silence to punish or pulls away to teach a lesson, it may feel like protection for themselves, but to an avoidant, it still feels like emotional pressure. It confirms what they already believe deep down, that closeness eventually turns into conflict, control, or emotional demands. And chasing creates the same problem from the opposite side. It sends the message that love means responsibility for someone else's emotional state, that closeness equals pressure. So both extremes, punishing distance and anxious chasing, push them further away. But allowing space is something different entirely. It doesn't mean you abandon yourself. It means you don't panic when distance appears. You don't fall apart when they pull back. You continue living your life. You don't interrogate them when they return. You don't demand explanations just to feel safe. You let things breathe. And in that breathing space, something unexpected starts to happen. The avoidant begins to miss you. Not because you deliberately created absence, but because your presence was calm, steady, and not emotionally invasive. You weren't overwhelming, you weren't chasing, you weren't creating tension. When they realize they can take space and still come back without being punished, guilted, or emotionally cornered, their internal alarm system starts to relax. The urgency to escape becomes weaker. The need to run fades. And slowly, they start returning sooner. They reach out more often. They stay present longer. Not because they feel forced, but because the connection no longer feels dangerous. At that point, distance stops being a tool of control. It simply becomes neutral. Closeness stops feeling like a trap. It starts feeling like a choice. And for an avoidant, choice is what makes connection sustainable.
When you don't chase during distance and you don't punish it, you become the one person who isn't linked with fear. And once fear is removed from the equation, connection naturally deepens.
Because it proves you're not going to overextend yourself, silently build resentment, or lose yourself just to keep the connection alive. You are not waiting anxiously for them to change. You are simply choosing what feels right for you. That kind of clarity creates stability. And stability is attractive to someone who is used to emotional unpredictability. Healthy boundaries are not ultimatums. They are not emotional walls. They are calm, consistent expressions of self-respect. Instead of saying something like, "You need to communicate more," or "I'm done," a grounded boundary sounds more like, "You value consistency." And when communication becomes very inconsistent, you naturally step back and focus on your own life. There is no threat in that, no blame, no emotional pressure, just honesty. And honesty like that allows an avoidant to stay engaged without feeling trapped. At first, they may test those boundaries, not out of manipulation, but out of habit. They are used to people adjusting themselves, bending their needs, or ignoring discomfort just to keep the connection going. But when your boundary stays steady, without emotional overreaction or constant justification, something changes. They begin to respect it. And respect is a major foundation for their version of love. Without respect, closeness feels unstable. With respect, closeness feels safe and earned. Boundaries also remove the silent expectation that you will tolerate inconsistency forever. They protect your emotional energy and prevent you from falling into reactive behavior. That balance is important because it stops the dynamic from becoming chasing versus withdrawing. Instead, the avoidant is given space to decide if they want to meet you where you are. And when that decision feels voluntary, it doesn't trigger their fear of being controlled. Over time, your boundaries teach them how to be with you, not through punishment, but through consistency. They start to understand what leads to connection and what naturally creates distance. And that self-respect changes how they see you. You stop becoming someone they take for granted or feel responsible for. You become someone they actually respect. And respect is often the doorway to deeper attachment. Another thing that can quickly overwhelm an avoidant is overgiving. Not because kindness is wrong, but because excessive emotional effort often carries an unspoken expectation. Even if you never say it directly, overgiving can feel like a quiet pressure for closeness, reassurance, or commitment. Avoidant individuals are very sensitive to that hidden pressure. Emotional availability, when balanced, draws them in, but overgiving pushes them away. Being emotionally available means you are open, warm, and expressive, but you are still grounded in yourself. You show care without chasing. You show interest without overextending. You give love without trying to earn it. That creates a lighter emotional atmosphere. And lightness is what allows an avoidant to stay present without feeling overwhelmed. Overgiving, on the other hand, often shows up as always being available, constantly reassuring, or ignoring your own needs just to maintain peace. It might come from love, but it slowly shifts the emotional balance. The avoidant begins to feel a sense of responsibility for your emotional state, even if you never ask for it. And that responsibility creates pressure. Pressure leads to withdrawal. But when you stay emotionally available without overgiving, that pressure disappears. You allow them to come toward you instead of always going toward them. You let them initiate sometimes. You let them invest at their own pace. And when they do, it feels meaningful because it is not expected, it is chosen. That sense of earned connection is very important for them. In the end, loving someone with avoidant tendencies is not about chasing them, fixing them, or trying to force closeness. It is about creating emotional safety through calm presence, respecting space without reacting in fear, and holding strong boundaries without losing warmth. When you stop turning distance into pressure and instead respond with steadiness, the dynamic naturally begins to change. An avoidant moves closer not when they feel controlled or overwhelmed, but when they feel free, safe, and emotionally unburdened in your presence.
Your independence, consistency, and self-respect become the foundation that makes connection feel stable instead of threatening.
And the real conclusion is simple. When love is no longer mixed with fear, pressure, or emotional chaos, it stops feeling like something to escape from and starts becoming something they can actually choose to stay in. If you found value in this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss what we uncover next on Decode His Mind. And in the comments, drop the word balance if this message helped you understand love and connection on a deeper level.